Hi there, Rebecca here with Standing Bear Healing, and I'm gonna pick up where I left off on my last video when I was, or actually it was more like the first one because I was in medical school and I had had these first memories of sexual abuse from my father, followed by memories that later turned out to be about satanic ritual abuse, which I didn't understand when I first had them because I didn't know that such a thing existed, not consciously. And so when I was in med school, I was struggling very much to make it through. I wasn't doing very well. Like I said, the dean of the medical school decided to tutor me because he could see I was struggling. And I remember taking the boards, the state board exam. I think it was towards the end of my first year, and I thought I did better than what I did. So I was pretty disappointed that I just didn't do all that great on the state board exams, but pardon me. So anyway, I made it through the first year limping along, and got that leave of absence that the dean told me that I would qualify for, and they approved it. Went and talked to one of the other deans and did all the paperwork and everything, and so that went through. And right after my first year, finished up, and I was a wreck. That was that time period where I told you I wasn't eating and I wasn't sleeping, and drinking coffee all day to keep going, and drinking wine at night to just try to self-medicate and to stave off the nightmares, which it didn't work. But anyway, so that first year, finishing up, sorry, I'm kind of stumbling here a little bit. Yeah, that's the nerves a little bit, I suppose. But anyway, I finished up, and by that point, the suicidal tendencies were getting stronger and stronger with each new memory and flashback that came back. And sometimes they were body memories more than an image, and the flashbacks would come in pieces. So typically for me, I would have the body memory first, so I would feel the rapes and the torture, being bound and that kind of thing. And then weeks or even months later, I would have the imagery, and they would seem disconnected from the body memory, right? I would see the imagery, and then the whole thing would kind of come together. And oftentimes I did not want to believe that what I was seeing and remembering was actual memories. I just would try to tell people that I just made it up, that I don't know where this came from, but it's not a flashback. And so I grew more and more suicidal. I didn't really see the point of going on because I was in so much pain, and the trauma of remembering the abuse in such a short amount of time, like one flashback after another, and the constant nightmares, I just didn't feel like I had much to live for, no husband at that point, no boyfriend, no friends, not speaking to most of my family. And so I ended up talking to my sister, God bless her. She would call me often, excuse me, late at night because she lives in a earlier time zone than me. So she would call and check on me. And one night I just said, pretty dispassionately, like, yeah, I don't really see the point, like, this is no life. And from what I've heard with this type of abuse, it's going to take me many, many decades to even begin to recover from it. And so I just don't want to be here anymore, don't see the point. And I wasn't even upset at the time or anything. It was just sort of this nonchalant, matter-of-fact kind of conversation. And she ended up calling my mom and telling her what I had said. And my mom called my older brother, and he told her, you get on a plane tomorrow and you don't leave until you get her into a mental hospital. And he said, that's exactly what my sister-in-law said before she hung herself. And so my mom, being my mom, said, well, I have a hair appointment at the end of the week, so I'll go after that. so so she left me struggling with whether or not to stay on the planet or not. And then she did come, and it was an amazing set of miracles that got me actually into, at the time it was called Heights Psychiatric Hospital here in Albuquerque, and it was wonderful. And that's a whole nother set of miracles. But I'll say this, that when I got there, it was like super surreal, because just like a week or two earlier, I'd been walking through the hospital in my white lab coat with my stethoscope, and people didn't know I was a med student. They thought I was a physician, and a whole different status. And then all of a sudden, there I was. They had to strip search me. That was real fun for a sexual abuse survivor in the midst of recovering those memories. And then the lady left, and I'm standing in my room, and I look out the window, and there's bars on it, and they informed me that I had to have like written permission from my psychiatrist to be able to go out. There was this little courtyard area. I mean, it's still it was like on four sides. It was like the locked up wards of the psych hospital. And so it took a few days, and I got that so that I could just pace this little dirt track. And I made some friends, and at first I was inpatient, and then very quickly they switched me to this day program that they had that was basically 8 hours a day of all kinds of therapy. Occasionally, and like once a week, an individual session with my therapist. But then the rest of it was group therapy, psychodrama, art therapy, recreational therapy, psychodrama, did I say that? And it was just phenomenal. And I threw myself into it with all the passion and type AAA personality that I had, that got me into med school. And I just went all out. Every single session, I threw my whole self into it. And I would end those days just exhausted. Like, I think I did about a month's worth of healing every single day. And it was an incredible experience. And it was a month of my life that I drove there every morning. I believe we would get there at like 8:30, and they'd open the doors, and we'd go in, and we'd start our process. And, we'd have a lunch break and go to the cafeteria. And it was just this nonstop work on healing, just healing. And what a gift that was. And again, there was like this whole miracle that happened to make that come about, but I'll save that for another video. I don't want these to be too long. And so I would say, like, okay, the silver lining part, I guess that's what I'm going to call the end of all of these. The silver lining part is that I have become such a better person after all I've been through. And I continue to get better. I continue to work on myself. I continue to heal. I continue to have my up and down days. Today's been one actually that was up in the morning, and then I don't know what happened in the afternoon. I just got really struggling, but a friend helped me out, did some energy healing on me, and just keep moving through it, right? I think that's what we're all going through right now, especially for all of us who are sensitives and empaths and healers and the like. We're really, really feeling the shifting of the planet, the shifting of the collective, and it can be rough. It can be really, really rough. But today I'm really blessed that I have a community of friends that I can text a friend and say, hey, I'm feeling really down. Could we talk sometime today? Or like I said, my friend Andy, that is a healer, and I can text him and say, what's going on? And he'll do a little tune-up on me. And then I've got my own healing modality, and I can do that on myself as well. So, it's all good, and life is some of the best it's ever been. I mean, there's still some challenges in my life that I'm working through, but I feel better about myself than I ever have, even if there's things in my life situations that are still being worked out. But yeah, I feel good, basically. I feel good. So anyway, now I feel like I'm rambling. So thank you for watching, and I love you, sending you lots of love and light. Bye.